This is a template that takes advantage of the new loop functionality. Um, all the stuff above loop here is existing functionality, including things like um, shell expansion. So in this case, the directory um, property in front matter is going to run the dir name command on the plan to get it the directory from the plan. You also have things like this, which are, interpolation. You have communication. So when a prompt gets to the start gate, we can communicate over different channels. In this case, a message just means I'm sending it over the configured chat messaging platform. For me, that's Discord. Success is if we are successful, we will both use TTS to, to say it out loud and then also, again, send it out to Discord. Um, Blocked happens if it's blocked is basically an alternative to start. So the very first thing that happens when a prompt is loaded is that the um, we call it a pre-flight check. We just go through and analyze the entire graph of shell commands to make sure that all the shell commands that are in that graph are approved. Every shell command has to be put on a whitelist, and if it's not, then it'll ask you if you want to approve it. But if you say no, then it becomes blocked, and you can send a message. Failure is that you did pass the pre-flight, but somewhere in the process with the LM, something failed. That could be you got capped. It could be that certain outcomes that you expected to happen from the LM didn't happen. Could be a variety of things. Anyways, that's just all background there. So the looping functionality. So loops basically take a condition that's either until or while, and then you just have a conditional expression. So this is saying until the phase is greater than the total phases in the project. And you can see here I've set total phases to this. I probably should just I'll put that there now. Basically, I put it as a default value. So um, the uh, other counterpart to the condition is what action should be taken when you get to when you're about to loop. So let's say that there are 6 phases in the project, and we're in phase 1. When we complete the first iteration, we'll hit this until condition. We will not have met that condition, so then we will take an action, which is to increment phase. So now phase becomes 2, and we go through that process again. So it's a relatively, right now, quite simple little process of just saying do this until something happens, or do this while a certain condition is in place, and then loop. You don't even need to necessarily have an action. There are a few, like you can see it here. Loop is last. That's just when you're using looping, it will set these underscored properties. So loop is last. It's basically saying, is this the last time we're going to run this loop? And there's another one which is loop is first. Okay, so that's the basic idea here. But let's just let's see. Well, in a terminal, I'm just going to kind of cheat here and do it here. So in a terminal, I would type something like Claudine compose, and then I would say implement phase. And this prompt expects that we pass in the total number of phases of the plan and that we pass in the plan's location. And we would do that by saying plan is equal to features abc.md, and then total phases is equal to 6. If I ran that, it would then kick off this prompt and start the looping process. One of the kind of DX improvements I'm planning on adding very soon is an explicit way of defining parameters. So if I basically made this command, but I didn't pass in the two required parameters, it would then pop up a dialog box and ask me for that information, um, which is nice. That way you can basically just shortcut this thing here, and then it will prompt you in an appropriate way for for what it is, what parameters need to be filled in. So that's that. Hopefully that makes sense. There's documentation in here too. I think the one that you're probably going to want to just look at is, I think it's just called looping. Yeah. So there's a looping document. You can take a look at that, and that describes looping in more detail. Okay, that's it.